Welcome. Sit down, roll up, pour up, turn up and tune in, because you're now watching the Buncher Bull Network.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome to the world's dopest podcast, the Marley State of Mind podcast, down here at the Bunch of Bull Studios, as we are every Saturday. And tonight, I got another special guest in the house with me. Why don't you introduce yourself to the people?
Hi, I'm Lorelai Paige.
We got Lorelai Paige in the house. How you feeling tonight?
I'm feeling good. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. I'm glad to have you on, hear about your journey a little bit.
Yeah, I'm happy to be on here.
Singer-songwriter. We spoke a little bit off camera about some of the stuff that you got going on and some of the journey, but, we're really going to dive into that on camera. I usually like to start off the podcast saying how I was introduced to the artist, how I come to find the artist, which you was the internet. You were floating around, and I'm always interested in meeting new people and experiencing new experiences. And I really liked your sound, your tone, very rich, very folky. Some of the stuff I heard, I've been listening to a lot of you this week preparing for this.
Thank you.
So, and I enjoyed it too. I wasn't only listening to you because I was preparing, but I also enjoyed it too. So that made it even more pleasurable experience. And I can hear different genres in your music. I can hear you bending genres throughout your music, and I think that's interesting. And I enjoy the like I said, a lot of the tones in your voice and some of the things that you're doing. I even heard a song where it almost sounded like a pirate chanty.
Is it Anchor?
Yes. Yeah. So I'm curious to hear from you, like, with music, like, how did it start for you? What were some of your influences coming up in music? What was like the song or the artist that you heard coming up that made you fall in love with music?
Honestly, there isn't one specific person that I was like, I want to be like, or who drove me to music.
Mm-hmm.
It was just the fact that I wanted to dance and sing and jump around. And for as long as I can remember, I loved to sing and come up with little tunes. And I've had songs that I wrote that made zero sense, but, and then I'd say I got inspired just by, every artist that I encounter, even people that I meet personally, all have some kind of journey in what they're fighting for. And I think it's just what drives artists kind of just struck me very early, and I kind of just took that and went with it.
Sure. So it was like not only the music itself, but it was the storytelling in music that drove you to it.
Yeah.
For sure. So like as a child, were you like always dancing and singing around the house?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I did have a Hannah Montana guitar that I played when I was very, very little.
Were you a fan?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I did grow up kind of on Disney. I watched a lot of Disney growing up.
Right. Yeah.
And
there's always music in Disney too.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, and I kind of learned how to sing in my high voice because of Disney princesses and all of their songs, and I'd do the little sing along, and and then I don't know, growing up out of my like early childhood, I'd say just exploring, like, I listened to the radio a lot, so I listened to a lot of like the top hits and like a lot of pop music,
like top 40 stuff.
Yeah. But I remember listening to Pink a lot whenever I was a kid, and how she built it out and she got loud and she spoke her truth kind of, and like just how she told her story throughout her music. And then I kind of got involved in just like more of that sound, and it led me to like a lot of grunge music, a lot of old like 90s. And then after that I kind of got into just pop again, but like with like some kind of rock indie feel. And I don't know, and then eventually I got into some folk phase and ended up writing a folk album, and now I'm making some kind of like synthwave dark like pop album. So
a lot of different flavors, which in a lot of different tones, right? And a lot of different influences. Now, do you find that to be challenging when you're introducing yourself as an artist at like different shows and things? Do you feel like you get pigeonholed into one area because someone might have heard something from you?
Yeah, I get shows actually still. When I was doing my folk stuff, I was very heavy into acoustic shows. Obviously for just somebody with an acoustic guitar and behind a microphone to just a quiet room, And I started to realize that I was filling up these restaurants, and I was like, I'm actually getting kind of big. But I was noticing that, I wanted to dance around. I wanted to have more of a connection with the crowd. And I felt sitting and playing an acoustic guitar during the entire set was just,
Not giving you the connection you were looking
no.
for. Yeah.
And it wasn't giving me the creative spark that I wanted. I feel like for me, I got to the end of what I've learned in folk, for at least what I wanted. There's always more you can learn in something, but I was getting kind of tired of it. I was like, I want to try something new.
Yeah.
So I ended up just going back into pop, which I feel like was ultimately my roots. Like growing up, whenever I was a kid, I just wanted to dance.
Yeah.
So I feel like
you mentioned the Disney, you mentioned the Hannah Montana.
Oh, absolutely.
You mentioned the Pink, which those are all very poppy type things, right?
Yeah.
So like you said, getting back to your roots was what pop was for you.
Yeah, but I still have that, like belting in me. I still have that urge to get loud and like to be bold, So I feel like my music is still changing.
Yeah.
But I like where it's headed. I like the shaping that I've been able to create with myself.
Sure. So now you like where it's headed. Now we started off saying that you were creating songs early on, kind of making your own stuff up as you were going along. Do you remember when you first like wrote and recorded your first song?
I remember recording my first song. It was at Apple Eye Studio with Sean Rue, if you know who that is. And I remember not knowing who he was at all. And I remember sitting down and I asked if I could just have the microphone. And I put it on the floor next to me. I sat with my ukulele and I sang a song about my sisters.
Yeah.
And it was one take. We listened back. And I remember there were tears in his eyes looking back at it. And I mean, it's a sad song.
Yeah.
And he looked at me and he said, this is fucking A. So I was like, all right, let's do it. And
did you write the song before you got there, or did you create it while you were there?
Yeah, I wrote it actually a long time before recording it, but I knew it was going to be the first song I ever wanted to record.
Right.
It has a very big part of like, who I am,
Yeah.
But it's called Wait For You. It is out everywhere.
Sure.
I released that one second, though. It wasn't even my first release.
Even though you recorded it first, it wasn't your first release.
Yeah, my first release was actually a song called Nobody. And I ended up taking it down because it was pretty bad, in my opinion.
So let's rewind a little bit. How did you find the studio? Like when you were going through the process of. So
I was kind of just trying to find producers because I knew I didn't know anything, and I was gonna learn off of YouTube. But like, there's only so much you can really. I'm a hands-on learner. I need someone to show me real quick,
Yeah.
And I found him on Facebook, and I just messaged him. Asked him, if he had time, and he was like, absolutely. We went in and we recorded. And
that's awesome, yeah.
Yeah, we recorded a few songs. He actually showed me Studio One, which is how I ended up learning how to produce myself.
Okay.
And I remember, like, he helped me figure out just, like, the basics, how to record, and then I started just recording with him until now he moved to North Carolina.
Right.
And I ended up moving to, like, other producers, too, just kind of figuring out what I wanted. But yeah, some of my best memories starting out is with him.
So you said you recorded the what was the name of the song again?
Wait For You.
Wait For You. You recorded Wait For You, but you didn't release that right away.
Yeah.
What was the hesitation on releasing that one first?
Very personal.
Yeah.
I have a very deep rooted childhood. I feel like a lot of who I am now is because of things that I've gone through.
Sure, yeah.
And like it was just like kind of a message to, my sisters who unfortunately I'm not around yet. I have to kind of wait for them to turn 18, unfortunately, but it was kind of just like if you hear me, if you see me,
Yeah.
I'm doing this and I'm still waiting for you,
Was it difficult to be that vulnerable, to be that personal?
Honestly, it was a release. The second I recorded it, the second I even wrote the lyrics, it felt so relieving to be able to be open.
You felt lighter.
It was like I had this weight and I was holding back, and I didn't really talk a lot about it. I didn't really show that side of me. Whenever I had like grown up into like an adult, I kind of just like hid everything that I'd gone through and just pretended like I started over. So it was like, different to go back and actually like revisit it a little bit, revisit the past.
Yeah.
But it felt good.
Felt good?
Yeah.
whenever you released it, what was like the responses like from people that knew you to hear you in that way?
I showed people in my car first, like my
Yeah.
closest friends.
Before
Some
you even
cried
released it into
before I even released it.
yeah.
A few of my friends cried. A few of my friends were actually like telling me that they didn't know how soft I could be because
Yeah.
they've heard me belting in my car, screaming to whatever songs we love, you know.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's a very quiet, personal song. So they were like, you know, I feel like that took a lot of people back, like realizing that I can be quiet and I can be open, you know.
Right.
But yeah, ultimately it was good.
It was good. It was a
Yeah.
good it was good feedback from
Oh,
most people.
absolutely.
Do you still have like individuals that you let hear your music before you release it to kind of see
Yes.
what their take is on it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
My whole album, most of my friends have already heard it.
Yeah.
A lot of my close friends, we've actually like danced to it either in my bedroom or in like their living room.
Yeah.
When we're all hanging out, you know, I went to a party on New Year's with one of my producers and he actually was hosting it. And we had a bunch of friends over and we were showing them all this new music that we were making. And we went downstairs and everyone was dancing around and we showed them 2 of our songs that we had made. And everybody started like screaming, like chanting. They were like, this is awesome. And it was just so like, I don't know. I love that. I love showing my friends like the songs before it comes out with, you know. Like,
Yeah, no, for sure. I always compare it to like cooking, like chefs, right?
yeah.
They cook the food for the other people to see their enjoyment, to see their face.
Yeah.
That's a lot what the music process is like for
Yeah.
artists. Whenever you're cooking up and you finally get to serve the people with what you made, it's beautiful to see, you know, their reactions to
Yeah.
it, them enjoying what you've made.
Yeah.
Um, now, did that give you the validation to continue on whenever you let the friends hear your music? Whenever you got that type of emotional reaction from them?
Oh, it definitely motivates me more.
Yeah.
But I have released songs that some of my friends were not so happy about. They were not like that they weren't happy about, but they were like, you could do better. And I
That's
was
good,
just
yeah.
like, too bad. You know?
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I was going to ask you that as well. Like, do you feel like the people that you let listen to your music gives you their honest opinion?
Oh,
on it?
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there are a few people, to be honest, who I know would just say, you know, that's good. But
Yeah, no matter what, yeah.
But there are a few people who, you know, will definitely give me their honest, brutal opinion. So
Yeah, but I also heard you say like, yeah, that's fine. I still love
yeah.
it. So, what do you do with that when you get that? Do you just like take it with a grain of salt, or what do you do when you don't get the reaction that you're looking for?
I
from the
ask
music?
them why. I try to hear it, and then
Yeah.
you know, at first it was hard to like take criticism.
Yeah,
That was
for
something I had to
sure.
work with.
Yeah.
But now like I'll laugh. I'll be like, yeah, I see it. Like they'll be like, you could have like changed the lyric, or you could have like smoothed it out, or like
Yeah.
one of the beats doesn't line up with something else, or they just don't like the tone.
They're that technical?
Some
Hey,
of them.
shout out to
I
your
have
shout out to your friends for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, some of my friends are very musical. I have a lot of friends who are in the scene as well.
Okay.
So, I mean, they're doing it, and I have friends who are also producers. So,
Yeah.
I like to show them as well to be like, listen, I know you're going to hear something.
Right.
And with this project, during my folk album releasing it, I already had some of these songs recorded, and
Right.
I already had this plan in my head. So, having this album pretty much be done and wanting the best for it, I'm going to show everybody I can who I know is going to like give me their honest opinion.
Feedback. Yeah.
Yeah, because I want this project to be the best.
Right.
And honestly, I feel like it is, but I always know I can top myself.
Yeah.
So pushing myself and making myself go into uncomfortable conversations with somebody who has way better hearing than I do,
Right.
has more of an ear for different things and can hear different mistakes. Being able to accept their criticism is something that like I have to put myself through in order to have the best album.
Yeah, absolutely. And the fact that you're able to take it in that way and at least try to understand where they're coming from
Yeah.
speaks volumes on you. Because like you said, as artists, sometimes we can become sensitive about what we
Yeah.
do, right? It's our baby. We work on it,
Yeah.
especially if it's something that you really enjoy and you don't get the feedback that
Yeah.
you wanted. But for you to be able to take that and say, okay, well, why do you feel this way? Let me see it from your perspective. That takes a lot of growth and maturity as an artist, and that's how you truly grow.
Yeah.
You know, once you're able to understand what the people are looking for, you can kind of, but you should also stay true to yourself too.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
In the same token.
Yeah.
So now you record the first song, you don't release it, but then you do end up releasing it. Was this a part of a project, or was this just a single at the time?
I actually, when I first started music, I recorded a 30-track album, and I deleted it now. It was very premature. It was very, you know, not developed as well as it could be.
Yeah.
and I do plan whenever I'm probably in my 30s to revisit it. It's a project.
You have an exact time frame
I
on
do
this,
because
yeah.
I feel like it was very personal.
Yeah.
When I first started music, I honestly just needed to release a lot of like emotions that I had built up. Because I'd gone through a lot. I don't have really a family that I go to. I ended up on my own very young. So I kind of went straight into work mode, get my life together.
Yeah.
And then by the time I graduated high school, I was way ahead of all of my friends. And I was like, well, what the hell am I going to do now, you know?
Right.
And I couldn't go to college. I had to work. Couldn't afford it. Couldn't take time out of my day, you know? So, and I knew music was something I always wanted. And then I wanted to just kind of like get whatever was holding me back, whatever was like bugging me at night, you know?
Yeah.
Just off my chest. And I recorded it, did a million different genres for it, released it kind of all in one. And then a lot of people were like taken back. They were like telling me that it was impressive, like the way I did it. But looking back on it, like, I'd say about a year later, I ended up being like, I could do way better. It needed way better mixing. I took out some of the songs that were like way too personal, I feel like.
Yeah.
I feel like I overshot it a little bit. And then I rewrote some songs actually since. And I feel like, you know, when I'm in my 30s and I'm, you know, if I'm in a place where I hope to be successful, where I hope that music is my whole life,
Right.
you know, then after I've released some of my, you know, music that's just for the music,
Yeah.
then I can go back, revisit it, you know, go through all of that emotional turmoil again and kind of just come out with it, you know?
Okay. No,
Yeah.
definitely understand. How long was it out before you took it down?
At least a year.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I played pretty much every one of the songs live.
Was that difficult for you to take it down?
No, it was actually kind of relieving in a way too. It was
Yeah.
relieving to put it out, and it was also relieving to take it back because it was like the people that needed to hear it heard it,
Yeah.
you know? And I knew that. And I knew that even before I took it down. And I was like, it's been time. It's been time for everybody in my life to hear that side of me, to hear all of those things. Because when you put your story into music, it's way different than just telling somebody, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
You get to feel it with them.
And
And
they're forced to listen, right?
yeah, and
Yeah.
I saw some of my songs make people react very emotionally, and I was like, wow, I kind of like really dive deep with it, you know? And I wanted to just like take it back a little bit. I wanted to just like make it, I don't know. I feel like now as like a producer, I'm not a producer, but I have produced, you know, and knowing that side of production, I can definitely do better.
Yeah.
And to tell my story the right way, I mean, it was told the right way, but like I feel
wanna
like
give it-
ultimately,
Yeah, you want to give it the proper platform
Yeah.
to be told. Yeah.
yeah,
You want to do it justice one time.
Yeah.
And you feel like it was underserved at this
Yeah.
time around.
and I feel like that had an effect on, you know, the goal of the album. The goal of the album was kind of just to like, a lot of people don't talk about why artists make the songs that they do, I feel like.
Mhm.
And I wanted to just be honest about who I was and what I went through.
Yeah.
So when I released all of that, I wanted to kind of leave an impact with it and let it start my journey into like helping kids who were like me, you know, maybe reaching like people in my past, you know?
Yeah.
And it did that, but not on the scale that I wanted to. So taking it back and reshaping it, I feel like will make it better to reach more, you
That's
know?
fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the like people who heard it or were familiar with it, were they upset that you took it down?
Actually, yeah.
Yeah.
I did have a lot of people tell me that I shouldn't have.
Yeah.
There was an argument that a buddy of mine made who said that it shows my journey, it shows who I am as an artist, you know,
Shows your growth.
even if it
Yeah.
sucked, you know? And that was why I hesitated so long, I think, is
Yeah.
because, like, it was very true. And, you know, I was starting out with music. I had no idea what I was doing. I just knew how to hit record, you know? And
Right.
so, but, like, I feel like for that kind of story, I want to be the best artist that I can be. And I want to show, like, my growth. And I feel like everybody starts somewhere. I do still have the album on Bandcamp if people
Okay.
really want to listen to it.
Yeah.
So it's not completely gone. But
Do you have any of the songs available from that album still?
yeah, the whole album is still on Bandcamp,
Yeah.
but it's not on Spotify or anything like that. I
And
feel
none of
like
the songs are on Spotify or
no.
any streaming? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, there are a couple singles actually. There's a song "Somebody," which I would probably have people at my house being like, "Why did you take that song down?"
Yeah.
I'm not kidding you. I've never had a song go so well as that song, and I've never been able to top it.
Yeah.
And I think it's one of my worst songs that I've ever freaking released.
Isn't that funny? Like the stuff that you are excited about. We talk about this with artists at times too.
Yeah.
Like when you're letting people listen to your music, and there's songs that you're really excited about, and then there's songs that you're just like, whatever about. And people are really excited about the songs that you're like,
Yeah.
And you're like, what about this song? You know, like,
Right.
yeah, that's cool, but play the other song again.
And this song, "Somebody," like, I vocally don't even do anything impressive.
Right.
I feel like it's in my main voice the whole time. I mean, I do get a little bit fast-paced and it's boppy, so you could say my breath control is, something to be looked at. But other than that, it's just plain average song, and it's very repetitive, and I kind of think it's cheesy. And a lot of people just love it. In fact, like, that's the first song anybody has learned the lyrics to.
Really?
And I've had people sing that at my shows.
That's awesome.
Yeah, this year has been quite a crazy year for me. Like, ever since I, like, changed my whole aesthetic. I know you've said that you were listening to my folk stuff.
Yeah.
I don't play a single one of my folk songs anymore.
Yeah.
I completely went pop, and I play all of my unreleased, not all of them, but some of them.
Yeah.
And then I play "Somebody," and I play like my poppy songs. But yeah, once I started doing that, people started learning the lyrics to "Somebody," and
That's awesome.
yeah, and I feel like, I mean, it is one of those songs where it's very empowering, very motivational. I don't know what good day I was having. I don't remember exactly what's going on in my life.
Yeah.
I mean, I know what inspired it, but the day that I recorded it, I have no idea where that energy came from.
Yeah.
But people love it, so I could never take that song down, and I could never stop playing that song as much as I wish. I could take a break.
Yeah.
I feel like that's my
It
curse
stuck
song.
with you,
Yeah.
It stuck with you. Now I hear you talk about the music, and the way that you talk about it, it's like a lot of nuance, a lot of technicality to it. Were you trained? Like, did you have vocal lessons growing up? Or?
I was in chorus.
Okay.
And I would say shout out to Miss Williams at Hempfield, because she
What's up, Miss Williams? at Hempfield? Yeah.
she has definitely helped me with my voice the most.
Is
I'd
that your
say.
chorus teacher?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other than that, no. I remember when I was a kid, I wanted to play guitar, and I wanted to play instruments. I wanted to sing, but singing was always the first thing and biggest thing.
Yeah.
And then I learned that I was a soprano 1. Learned how to sing very high notes and ridiculous songs. So then, but I didn't really per se like it. I mean, it wasn't bad. I kind of liked impressing people. When you hit high notes, people are like, whoa.
Yeah.
And it's so weird to me because that's like all I knew how to do as a kid.
Yeah.
And now I want to like actually sing. I want to like feel the rest of my voice. And I feel like she definitely helped me in chorus, like figure out who I am as a vocalist.
Yeah.
Like not just like, an artist then, because I feel like back then I didn't even have the image of an artist in my head.
Yeah, you didn't have the artistry with you. It was just more singing to sing, yeah.
And but songwriting, I don't know where that came from, but it has been with me since I was a small child.
Yeah.
I've had songs even that I've made since, that have been written whenever I was a small child.
Yeah.
One of the earliest songs that I had released is called "The Moon Song," and I wrote that when I was like 10 years old.
Yeah.
Like the chorus, at least for that. I did edit it a little bit because
Sure.
it was kind of, cheesy.
You were 10, yeah.
And I was like, well, these 2 words don't rhyme. What was I on? And but yeah, I feel like I still take inspiration from songs that I wrote like decade ago, you know?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, writing, I practice writing all the time.
Yeah.
If I do nothing like with songwriting, like usually every single day I either write a song, write a verse, edit a song, look at my lyrics, I do something.
You're doing something to work towards
And
the
if
music.
I don't, then I'm writing a music script for like a video. I'm writing like different outfit designs. I'm putting together planning behind the scenes. I'm making a post. Like I'm doing something with music every single day.
Right.
But writing is always like, I'd say I
In the
write
forefront of what you do.
at least every other day, if not every day.
Now, you do that now. Has that always been your process?
No.
Yeah.
I used to never write. I actually had a lot of moments where there were a few moments the past like 5 years where I'd write so much and then I would just stop for a few months, not even touch a guitar, not touch anything.
Yeah.
And I hated that. I hated how it was like a mental block. I would have this creative burst.
Yeah.
Like with my folk album, I feel like I wrote that so fast, and then after that I was done. I couldn't anymore, and I was like, I don't know. I feel like if I took breaks, it would stop me completely. So I wanted to just even it out, you know? I have to like stop myself too. If I start going crazy and I realize it's been a few hours and I'm still writing, take a break, you know?
What flipped for you? What switch mood for you to change from taking those breaks and going on those hiatus to writing every day?
The new year and my new album, the new genre, it felt very new. So I was like, you know what? Let's go full swing, brand new everything, you know? I needed to change my mentality. Before, actually, in the past 2 years, I went from playing for free completely in open mics, wherever anybody would take me, to now, I just did like a huge show for a guy named Sammy Rash, who has way more followers than I can imagine right now, and I've been doing really well. I've been doing music videos. I've been doing shows where people now know my songs, and it's because like I had to sit with myself and be like, do I really want this? And of course I do. So I have to act like it, you know? And I feel like as an artist starting out, I didn't know anything. I didn't have anybody to be like a manager or like a guide, you know? I had YouTube, but like that's as far as you could go, you know?
Only something like, and you said you're a hands-on learner,
yeah.
so you need that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I sat with myself and I made a whole plan. I bought a planner for 2025 and I said, this is exactly what I'm going to do. And I've been following it ever since.
Yeah.
I released Drawing a Blank on the new year. And then a month later, came out with a music video for it. I just released my second single, Up and Down. I'm recording a music video for it, about to come out in the middle of summer.
Yeah.
By the end of fall, like I'm probably going to come out with another song and then another music video. And then I'm going to just keep doing that until I feel ready for the album. And then I'm just going to drop the album with another music video for the title track.
So you said a couple things I want to unpack there.
Yeah.
So, I've listened to up and Down as well as Drawing Blanks, of course. Are those going to be a part of the album, or are these just singles?
These are part of the album.
Okay.
Yeah, Drawing a Blank is the first song. It's the first song that tells a story, not title track, but like first thing you click whenever you hit play. And I like it that way because it 100% describes how I went into this genre, how I was hitting writer's block, had no idea what I wanted. And if you've seen the music video, I even went from blonde to changing my hair and my style completely. I went from solo.
It was the whole transformation right in front of our eyes.
Yeah, the solo sitting in Dan's studio, just writing me and him, to in the room, like playing for all of my friends and everybody who came out to see me. And I feel like Drawing a Blank was perfect to just be like, this is brand new.
Yeah.
You know, this is a whole new sound, genre, style, everything.
A whole new you.
You know, you drew a blank.
Now, before I get too much into those, let's talk about the first album, right?
Yeah.
The folk album. I don't want to skip past that because that's important, right? Was that your first official release, was the folk album?
Yeah. I mean, the 30-track album that I released, whenever I first started music, that was. But the folk album I released last year, and it was, like, official, like, I'm not taking that down. That is here to stay.
Yeah.
And
character
that one,
development?
Yeah, character development. Yeah. And that one, I wanted to just, like, prove to myself that, like, as a songwriter, what can I do? And I feel like folk is so, like, I don't know, it feels so, like, how do I explain it? Like involved.
Yeah.
Like everyone's playing an instrument. Everyone's moving to different sounds, different things. It's very bluegrassy and country at the same time. And I don't know. That one is here to stay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, while we're on that, tell the people how to get a hold of you.
Yeah.
If they want to follow you on your journey, what's the best way that they can follow you? If producers want to reach out to you, maybe they have some tracks and records for you. How can they go about doing that?
Well, my name is Lorelai Paige. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, Pandora, all of the streaming services, pretty much all of them. You can find me just by my name, Lorelai Paige. Reach out, like I answer most of my DMs. Just don't be creepy. And yeah.
It looks like Armani said absolutely amazing
Armani,
human being
she
a
is.
musician. She said that about you. She said you're
Oh,
an
well,
absolute,
she is as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Armani, she's a good buddy. She's literally listened to the whole album,
Yeah.
heard everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We appreciate everybody who's tuning in live with us right now.
Yeah, thank you.
We got Lorelai Paige in the house on the world's dopest podcast, the Molly State of Mind podcast. But let's get into some of the music. So we talked about character development.
Yeah.
What was the inspiration for character development?
So it was pretty much the ocean, the rivers, wilderness, nature.
Yeah.
It felt very, I don't know, I wanted to be outside a lot. I felt like I was kind of just inside too much of my life. I felt very sheltered growing up, so I kind of just wanted to like breathe
Break out of
fresh
that.
air,
Yeah.
you know. And I started going to Ohio Pile religiously. In
Did you
fact, Armani is one of the people who goes with me. But yeah, and just going outside and being able to just sit on a rock, you know, and chill out, hang out with some friends, watch the river, go swimming a little bit, you know. I was very inspired just by how therapeutic it was, you know, and I wanted to write about how I've changed as a person, and that, you know, my first album was very emotional, very vulnerable, I had so much going on.
What was the name of the first album?
The folk album was the second album.
No, what was the name of the first album that you took on?
Cinematic Experience.
Cinematic. I thought so, yeah.
Yeah, that one isn't out anymore, unfortunately.
Right.
But yeah, and I wanted to just like with character development show that like, I don't know, I felt very more aware of who I was, you know. I figured out all of my emotions. I felt like I got it all out. I felt like, you know, I was able to breathe. So it was more of just like, look where I am now, you know. I changed, you know. I had gone through some issues. I had tried to like, you know, repair everything in my life, and then I finally was able to let go of a lot that was holding me back.
It seems like you're very conscious of who you are
Yeah.
as a person, and it sounds like it's important for you to take a lot of inventory of what's going on around you, your feelings, and where you are in that moment. And it seems like that plays out in your music as well.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? Like this consciousness that you have of self.
Yeah.
And who you are in those moments. And it seems like it plays through your music, even through the titles, character development.
Yeah.
Things like that, it shows. And is storytelling important to you in music? Like even when you're listening to music, is that something that's important to you?
I mean, I can listen to music, like, if I'm with my friends in the club dancing, of course, you know, you're not going to be listening to the lyrics, like, completely, but,
right.
When I listen to music that I want to feel inspired by, or that I want to, like, dissect, or I want to feel something by, I try to go for music that's very intimate, that's very, like, vulnerable, that's kind of just, like, telling how they feel, you know? I like very honest work, you know? I want to be able to I want to feel like I've been punched in the throat by this song, you know? Like,
you want to feel it.
Yeah. And music for me as a writer, it's been so therapeutic to just get it all out and to be able to release those emotions that even speaking to somebody is kind of hard to, you know, dissect.
Yeah. Well, let's get into some of the character development. I do want to play some tracks off of here. Do you have anything that you would recommend I play from?
Waiting. That is everybody's favorite from the album.
All right, so we got we're gonna play from character development, Waiting, and this is on all streaming platforms.
Yes.
All streaming platforms. We're good to play, Jess? We're good to play the music, and they can get this on all streaming. This track is Waiting.
Summer and sunshine is coming around.
it's through the art. I think of you every day, and how we were torn apart. And I've been waiting for a change. And I've been working through the pain. Will I see you again? See you again? See you again? See you again? When winter comes around and I lose my smile, I'll keep my head down, 'cause I know that I miss you most now, and I've been waiting for a change. I've been working through the pain. I see
And that was Waiting. Yeah, no, it's very beautiful.
Thank you.
Now, whenever you're going through your process, you're being vulnerable with your music, and you're doing all of this, does it feel like, of course we talked about the release and
Yeah.
it feel like getting the weight off your shoulder, does it, but is it difficult as well to open yourself up like that, to let people see
With
that side
some
of you?
things, yes.
Yeah.
There are some things that I don't let anybody in on, but with others, I mean, I can be very open. You
Yeah.
know, I feel like with a lot that I've gone through, I have to be.
Yeah.
Because like I don't know, it's who I am. It kind of shaped me into who I am, and I feel like there's a lot that I'm still waiting on, like that song Waiting. I feel like I can't ever be completely over something without, having my siblings with me, you know? I feel like there's always going to be that waiting inside of me, that I'm
Yeah.
always going to be holding on to it. So I feel like if I don't be open with it, I'm going to end up bottling it up. And I'm going to end up like kind of going into self-destructive behaviors,
It'll go to a dark place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I think it's okay to be open about those things. I feel like people aren't open enough,
Yeah.
you know?
That's true. No, very good point. Now, whenever you're writing songs like that, because you said you yourself don't produce, how do you come up with how do you know what you want it to sound like? Does it always come out the way that you want it to sound?
I hear it. So
you?
it's like whenever I write, that's why I've gotten into producing a lot of my own stuff.
Yeah.
Especially with Drawing a Blank. I heard it and I started like writing it, and I would always like hit my leg and like always like snap and stuff with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, you know what? That's the way it sounds. Like, why can't I just record that? So,
Yeah.
I mean, going into the studio, I always make sure it sounds the way I want it to. And it comes
Does
off
it
very
always
easy.
Does it always come across whenever you?
I'd say yeah, for the
Yeah.
most part. Unless I end up like changing a song, like I have done that. I have gone to the studio with a song thinking it was going to sound one way, and then completely changing lyrics, restructuring
As you're
it.
in the studio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But for the most part, my most like important songs, I'd say, I've always heard it in my head. I've always had like the vision, like I can hear if there's strings, the bass, if there's guitar, if it's just synths, like I can hear it in my head.
Did you hear all of that for Waiting?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the guitar, I actually played like some chords for him, and then Dan ended up playing the tone, like the electric. He came up with the tone for it.
Oh, very
But
nice.
the way it came out was the exact way that I heard it.
Yeah.
And then for like the drums, how big I wanted it to be, the ooze, all of that, I 100% was like, let's add it in because I heard
And that was
it.
all live instrumentation?
Yeah,
Very dope,
absolutely. Yeah.
Was it tough to coordinate all of that?
No, not at all, actually. Working with Dan, we work very easily. I recommend him to anybody. He's extremely talented as a producer.
Yeah.
And I don't know, ever since I started in the studio with him, I showed up and we've just clicked each time. Like every time I
Yeah,
have
good
something,
chemistry.
it's like I want it to sound like this, and he knew exactly how to
What you
make
were
it,
going
you know?
for, yeah.
And like I'll hum, I'll slap things, I'll try to like make different sounds, you know, just to try to like make it. And when we go through sounds, even we'll just go through whatever pads if we're using like a synth and play through, and I'll even play on the keyboard, try to figure out what we want. And like especially if we start from scratch, there are times I go in the studio with zero lyrics, nothing,
Right.
and I just write something there.
Yeah.
And we'll go through with what we like to hear, and I don't know, it's very easy with Dan. I'd feel like
Yeah.
it's just like as soon as I started working with him, we just sailed, you know.
Do you have that type of connection with other producers that you've worked with?
A few. Dylan, me and him usually actually when we worked together, Up and Down was he had a minute and like 30 seconds of that song as just the instrumental bed. And whenever I heard it, I was like, I like this. We should turn this into a song. So while I was there, like he ended up producing a lot of it, and then I gave him like some of my criticism, how long I wanted it to be, like where the verses and like the structure of it.
Right.
And then whenever we got to recording the lyrics, I mean, it was pretty easy coming up with like telling him kind of what I wanted. He picked it up pretty easily too. But there was one song that we did actually just go together, create 100% from scratch together. And I'd say it was pretty much like the chemistry I have with Dan. It was very easy to just like bounce off of each other with ideas, just come up. But it was also different. Dan kind of like lets me in the front seat kind of thing. Like he lets me choose.
He lets you drive it.
Yeah, and he just kind of like makes sure that like whatever I come up with is like in time and everything.
He's supporting you through the process.
Yeah, it makes it go a lot faster, honestly. And with Dylan, it's more of a like I let him take like the front seat because he makes a lot of really cool pop like instrumental beds. So I want to hear that, and I like his sound. But when we worked together, it was more like an equal like share with creating it.
A lot of give and take between the two.
Yeah. And then recently working with Mellowscape, they actually had that song, and they asked me just to sing on it, and so I practiced, showed up at the studio with them, and it was at Mr. Small's before they reconstructed and moved it to where the Funhouse is now. And I came in, recorded it, and only took a little bit, like a couple hours, not even, and it was really fast. They showed me the song, showed me everything they liked, talked for a bit, recorded my vocals, you know, and it was pretty fast, pretty easy, and then they just finished mastering it and then released it.
How did you end up hooking up with Mellowscape?
So Tone, Turn Me Up Tone, he had a show at the Forge he asked me to play, and it was a Halloween show.
Nice.
And Mellowscape was also playing. So we ended up meeting there, and then I think like a year later is when they hit me up and were like, hey, we like your sound, like we want to have you on this song.
We have something for you,
Second I heard, like even the beginning, like the first dun, 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 like little like ring of the guitar, I was like, I love that. I was like, absolutely, this is such a like indie like rock alternative like feel that I was like, it's perfect for spooky season. We were gonna release it around October, and we ended up releasing it around then, and everything was going pretty good, and it was just like perfect. So I was like, absolutely, I want to hop on it.
Awesome. And I've seen you collaborate on Sanctuary as well.
Yeah, with Four String Fighter.
Yeah, that was another collaborative. Do you enjoy collaborating with others?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I love working with people. I love meeting people too, and just like getting to know other people's sounds and process and what they're involved with. He's a reggae artist, and it was really cool because I love reggae. I go to Badfish. And so I was like, never envisioned myself working on a reggae song because just like my style is very different. But I don't know. It was really cool to like add my folky tune to it and hear his reggae pop out. I don't know. It was fun. It was really cool.
Something different, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's get into the Mellowscape track, huh?
Oh, absolutely.
Maybe. Maybe we'll get into it. So this is going to be Beat Up Chevy by Mellowscape featuring Lorelai Paige.
There's a cryptid in my frown.
Beat up Chevy.
Yeah.
So going into the new album, we're going for a different sound now, right?
Yeah.
It's another transformation. More self-inventory is taking place.
Yeah.
You know more about yourself and where you want to be as an artist. Is that safe to say?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, with this one, you said it's more of a pop feel.
Yeah.
What's the name of the upcoming album?
I can't say that yet.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Is it still in development, or you just...
It's pretty much on its way to be mixed and mastered. It's pretty much mixed. Like, it's final touches, really, if I want to go back and add a few things. But it's pretty much ready to release. I just want to have a good plan before I do, you know?
You want to have a proper rollout.
Yeah.
Now, you said drawing blanks as well as ups and down. Drawing the blank, I'm sorry.
You're good.
As well as ups and down are going to be on the album.
Yeah.
Drawing the blank was the first single?
Yep.
The inspiration, and from what it sounded like, it did sound very much inspired by, like, writer's block.
Yeah.
Not knowing what to say, drawing the blank, right?
Yeah.
Were you experiencing some of that during this creative process?
Absolutely. I actually wasn't able to touch anything for like a month. I couldn't write a song, couldn't play a new chord, I couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
And I was freaking out because like I had written some stuff, but none of it, it all kind of sucked in my opinion. I was like, why am I writing just straight up trash right now? And then I just was like writing how I felt, and then that's how Drawing a Blank came, because I just sat down and I was like, okay, if I can't write because I have writer's block, then I'm gonna write about drawing blanks, and then it turned out to be a good song.
Yeah.
So
Let's get into that. This is off the upcoming album, which name shall not be told at this time. This is Drawing a Blank, streaming on all platforms now, as well as the video, right?
Mm-hmm. The music video's on YouTube.
Music videos on YouTube, so make sure you guys check that out.
There's no words left to say when you're drawing a blank. You keep an open space, hoping for that break. You don't know what is next, but you can't sit and wait. Keep staring at the page, but you keep drawing a blank, blank, blank. You keep drawing a blank, blank, blank. Wrinkle up and throw a toss. Write it down before it's lost. Lost. Open mind outside the box. Gotta keep it all unlocked. Take the risk and pay the cost. Cost. You got it, you got it. Then you lost it. You got it, you got it. Then you lost it. You got it, you got it. Then you lost it. You got it, you got it. Then you lost it. There's no words left to say when you're drawing a blank. You keep an open space, hoping for
Drawing a blank.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Was that song part of what broke you out of your writer's block?
Yeah, absolutely. As soon as I wrote that, I wrote about 3 more songs for the album.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know, it was really cool because it wasn't the first song that I wrote for the album. I wrote a song that is actually, it was the title track, and then I changed the name, and now it's called Punished for My Patience.
Yeah.
And that song was written a couple years ago during my folk album, and I loved the sound, and I had no idea how to make another song with that sound until Drawing a Blank.
Yeah, so it kind of fit in perfect to what you were going for this project. Now, are you doing some of your own production for this upcoming project?
Yeah. Most of it actually is, there's a couple songs that Dylan made that are on it. Up and Down was one of them. He produced that musical bed, and then I created like the lyrics and stuff and changed the structure a little bit. And then there's another one called 80s AF, which I don't know if that's going to be the title. We don't know what to name it. That ended up being, you know how like when you name something because you have to save it?
Yeah.
Really, exactly. It feels like it. So,
yeah.
But
it was just a placeholder at the time.
Yeah. That one he also produced, and then I wrote some lyrics and like did my thing on it. And then there's a song called Ghosts that I recorded with somebody named Darcy Saint. And he now is out in Nashville, and I recently took a trip out there and we recorded it. And it is his musical bed, but we both wrote lyrics for it, and we both sing on it, and it's really cool.
True collaboration.
Yeah, and it's really cool. I really like that one. I haven't teased it, but I talk about it all the time. Yeah. I can't wait for that one. But yeah, and then the rest of them, I have some that are completely mine. I have one where I use my breath even as like an instrument, and I like that. Like, I like body percussion a lot. Right. And I feel like this album is a lot of body percussion mixed in with synths and kind of a dance beat, you know? Just kind of that feel like you could dance to it. It's still emotional, but not nearly, like, as vulnerable as all my other stuff.
Right.
But I like this album, the main theme, as just, you know, exploration in music and my world, you know? What it's like to go out as an artist, you know?
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned body percussion. I never heard of it referred to it that way. But, you said that's the way that you kind of convey it to the producers at times too, is with body percussion.
Yeah. Like Drawing a Blank was. That's all I did, and then we put a kick compressor on it. Yeah. To make it very dark and watery.
Yeah.
So,
it definitely came across that way too.
Yeah.
So very cool. So I want to play one more. We'll play Up and Down, right?
Yeah.
Because we should. It's the new single.
Yeah.
Right? Fresh new single. Make sure you guys stream all of this stuff. It's all available for streaming right now. This is the new single called Up and Down.
Flying and I'm crashing out, running the second my
Up and Down, newest single. Do we have an expected release date for the project yet?
For the music video or for the album?
For the album.
I'm not releasing that yet. I'm
Oh,
sorry, so many
man.
secrets. I
Oh,
know.
man. What about this year, maybe? Perhaps.
Not this year,
Okay.
but it is coming.
Coming soon.
Yeah, the
Coming
music
soon.
video for Up and Down will be very, very soon.
Okay.
And then there'll be a release around the spooky season. And then there won't be another one until the new year.
Okay.
But that one will be probably whenever I give the date and the title.
Okay, so we can anticipate it at the top of the year.
Yeah.
For sure. You said you do have some shows upcoming?
Yeah, the 4th of July weekend on July 5th, actually, I'll be on East Carson Street. I'll be releasing information on that soon.
Right.
And then on the 20th, the August 8th is at the Poetry Lounge, and then the 20th I have another one, but I haven't posted any of my flyers yet. I've been slacking.
No, that's okay. Yeah, for sure. So if people do want to find out all of those things coming up, one more time, what's the best way to follow you and see what you have upcoming?
I post everything on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok 100%. Like, if you want to show those 3 places, I will always post a flyer, whether it's on a story or an actual post. And then I'm also on Threads and Blue Sky and all of those like other smaller apps. But those ones aren't as frequent.
Right.
But you can find my music on Spotify, iTunes, Pandora, YouTube, any of that. And yeah.
For sure. No, I appreciate you coming out to join us. It was great getting to know you and your story. The music is amazing.
Thank you.
You're very talented. And I can see with the focus that you have, right? The vision that you have for yourself, and it seems very directed. I know that you will go as far as you want to go with this.
Thank you.
So definitely, keep us aware of anything you have upcoming if you ever want to promote anything.
Oh, absolutely.
And we're always here for you to do that. And we'll definitely come out to some shows and check you out.
Oh, hell yeah. Thank
Yeah,
you.
show some love in that way too. But no, I definitely appreciate you coming out to join us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah,
This
it was
is
a
really
good time.
cool.
Yeah,
I love
for
what you
sure.
guys do here.
Yeah, it's the world's dopest podcast, Marley State of Mind podcast. We'll be here next Saturday with another special guest. So make sure you guys tune into that. We also have on the Bunch of Bull Network Vision Talks with Greg Lamont and Dude every Friday at 2 o'clock. So make sure you guys tune into that as well. But until next time, we're out of here. Peace.